Thank you so much for your time being on our YouTube channel. First of all, where are you from?
United States.
Which city?
America.
America, yes.
Utah.
Utah, the state of Utah. I see. So you are traveling in Japan now?
Yes.
Is that a part of your traveling?
A
Like,
tour.
uh-huh.
I was here for 2 weeks with a group
Uh-huh.
to study handicrafts, specifically like shibori or indigo dyeing.
Oh.
And then when the tour ended, it's an extra week of
Right.
self-guided.
I see. So is that your business, like the dyeing or like
No, but I'm an
art
artist.
stuff?
I'm an
You're
artist.
Ah.
Yeah. So I was interested in the different forms of Japanese culture that was specific to like kintsugi, shibori,
Uh-huh.
all of the crafts.
I see. But mainly like textiles.
Textile, exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not a textile artist,
Right.
but that's what brought me here.
Oh, I see. Then what kind of arts then do you usually make or create?
More
painting,
two-dimensional pieces like paintings, sketching, drawing.
Oh, okay. Very nice.
Yeah.
So, did you learn very interesting, like technique or something?
Absolutely. So kintsugi's always been an interest. So that's the repair technique where you have a broken vessel and you use the gold seam to repair the vessel.
Oh.
So that's just a beautiful concept
Mhm.
to keep something alive even
Right,
after
right.
it's been broken.
Uh-huh.
So it's sort of those ideas weave themselves into my art,
Mhm.
right? So like the repair aspect or the not letting something old be lost,
Uh-huh.
transforming it into something new,
Right,
but not
right.
getting rid of it or disposing of it.
Uh-huh.
So that concept was great for
Uh-huh.
art. The shibori, the stitching would be if I maybe wanted to include another textile piece into the artwork with the connecting
Uh-huh.
things.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think that all of these ideas are going to find their way eventually into an art piece or pieces.
Right, right. I thought that like shibori dyeing is for
Oh, sure, you're right. Sachiko was the stitching. Shibori is the dyeing. You're right.
for clothing.
Yes.
I see.
Yes.
But still, you can combine those into like a two-dimensional art.
It would be three-dimensional at that point. Yes. It would be mixed media.
Where did you go for that tour then?
Started in Tokyo,
Uh-huh.
and then it transferred to one place in Nagoya, and then to Kyoto, where it ended.
Oh, the techniques. You went to a studio or something.
Studios, like
Studio.
artisans.
And so you spent like 2 weeks for that.
Yeah.
Mm.
It was an Australian group of women that we connected with. So there were 3 Americans and about 10 Australians.
I see. And now you're a self-guiding tour right now.
Yes.
So where did you go so far?
Today, we got
Yes.
in today from Kyoto, and we're just doing the Osaka Castle, and we'll just wander around for food around Dotonbori, if that's the right pronunciation, area,
Yeah.
for food, and then we fly out tomorrow.
It's very short.
Yeah,
Looks
for
like.
Osaka.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how did you like it in
Great.
Japan? Yeah.
Oh, in Japan?
Yeah, in Japan.
Maybe I thought that I had a past life and I belong here.
It was very difficult to pronounce.
Religious concept. So if you believe, like Buddhists, in past lives, I believe I must have been born here in a past life because I feel at home here.
Oh, I see, I see. Specifically, what kind of situation you felt that
At
in the
home.
soul?
In the temples,
Uh-huh.
walking in the temples, in the rock gardens,
Uh-huh.
the moss, and Japanese gardens in particular.
And you felt very calm and that kind
Very
of
peaceful.
very comfortable.
Very comfortable.
That's why you might be a Japanese before life.
That's why I think yes.
Okay.
Because I've traveled all around the world.
Uh-huh.
I've never felt this calm, and I love the way that people interact with each other.
Uh-huh.
And it's very humble and very respectful, and it's just beautiful.
I see. And on contrary, did you get any like experiences that surprised you or uncomfortable or very different?
So one thing that I've thought about, but I
Uh-huh.
haven't figured out yet, I would have liked to figure out the idea, like in my home, there are wood floors, and my husband and I transfer our shoes off at the door and put our socks on and stay in our own home in the United States. But I don't understand yet where the shoe comes off, why it comes off, where it does, when it's supposed to be socks only. There's like a more tradition and purpose aspect of it that I've missed, right? And so if someone had explained that to me, I could have been more respectful or more appropriate. So those were surprising things that I felt. The only time I felt uncomfortable was when I felt like I was doing the wrong thing.
It's,
So that was something that we'll figure out with the guides,
okay.
for next trip.
For the next trip. So you don't see the border between like off shoes and with.
Yes, it's more. So there's concrete and then there's wood, and then it's obvious you put the shoe in the shelf, and then you're never supposed to let your barefoot. It's just what. More explanation
Okay.
for an American, I think, would be useful.
For Japanese, just the outside and the inside, and it's very easy.
You grow up with it,
Yeah.
and it.
But
Just,
in
you
the
just do
United States, it's mixture.
Shoes are
Yeah.
everywhere.
Uh-huh.
Only shoes.
Only shoes. But you also can be like with only socks or barefoot and mixed together, like in your.
Nobody ever wears just socks.
Oh, really?
Never,
Oh.
that I know. And barefoot's okay, but nobody does that either.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, that's the only very different, confusing. I wish I knew more so
Okay.
that I would have not
Oh,
done it incorrectly.
okay.
But never
So-
unsafe, never unkind, never stress, never conflict.
Okay. Oh, that's good to hear.
Yeah,
Yeah. But how about the Japanese food? Do you have do you like Japanese food?
I do.
Oh,
I feel
you
like
do?
my body likes Japanese food.
Oh, really?
Yeah, felt very healthy, very good for me, very nourishing without filling.
Because in Japan, rice is the staple food, and in the States maybe wheat. Right? Do you still accept the rice kind of food?
Oh, I love rice.
Oh, really?
I would eat rice every day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it was very fun talking to you. Thank you so
Likewise,
much.
thank you.
Alright.
Arigatou gozaimasu.
こちらこそ. Alright, thank you for your time being with us on our YouTube channel. Where are you from?
I'm from Colombia.
Colombia. Oh, South America. Colombia. I don't remember the capital. What was
Bogota.
it? Bogota. Is that one? It's really high altitude.
Bogota is at high altitude.
So the airplanes always have a hard time landing on the airport. Is that the
No,
one?
that's not Bogota.
Oh,
I think
oh.
that's a place in Ecuador or
Ecuador.
something maybe.
Oh, okay. So you're traveling in Japan now? Oh, okay.
Yeah. I've been traveling for almost 3 weeks now.
Oh, and how do you like it in Japan?
Well, usually I love it. I've always wanted to come here to visit, and the culture, the respect, the tranquility, the monuments, it's great. Maybe the only thing I haven't enjoyed so much is maybe a little bit the food.
Oh.
It was not what I was expecting.
Oh, really?
But besides that, I've loved visiting.
Ah, I see, I see. So where have you been so far?
I started in Tokyo,
Uh-huh.
then I went to Kanazawa.
Uh-huh.
I've also went to Mount Fuji,
Mm.
Kyoto, Nara, and now Osaka, and also Kobe.
Oh,
It's
okay.
been a long trip.
So which part is like a highlight or memorable place or activities or?
I think all of them were pretty cool. Like I loved going to Mount Fuji. We had a couple of days of raining, and then all of a sudden, the last day we saw Mount Fuji and back. Tokyo was really impressive, like the magnitude and so many people and so organized. Kanazawa, it's beautiful. It's so well preserved, so pristine. You really feel like the medieval Japan. I really liked it. Osaka's been a bit more like the idea I had of Japan, like more
really?
dynamic, more technology, bigger buildings. So each one has been really marvelous. And Nara was also beautiful. I hadn't even heard of it before, and I really enjoyed it as well. The highlight, maybe Kanazawa, but each one had its really spectacular moments, and I enjoyed all of them.
Where did you go in Nara?
We were.
So not only the deer.
Oh,
place.
of course, we went to the Narak Park. That
Uh-huh.
was a really nice highlight of the trip. My brother loved it as well, and we were with it. Actually, we were there for 2 days, and we decided to go both days to the park.
Oh,
It was
really?
really nice.
Oh, you came with your family or just
With my brother.
Brother.
Yeah, so it was nice traveling with someone else, visiting, being able to discuss all the different things about the culture, and we were really impressed, both of us, with Japan.
Wow. So you and your brother came together to Japan? Or?
Yes.
Oh, and by yourself, like you spread.
No, we
the
will
place.
go back together.
So only at this time you're just happen to walking alone.
Yes, actually, my brother's right over there.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that. And in Japan, probably you saw many lines
On the subways,
Yeah,
on
subways
public
or the-
transportation.
or like a restaurant or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
It can be a bit confusing because each one has like its meaning, and we don't understand the subtleties of the differences sometimes. I'm pretty sure we can be very, very annoying as foreigners, not choosing the exact option. I hope Japanese people will forgive us for our ignorance, but I'm pretty sure we usually try to do our best. We simply are not aware of the complexity of the system that you have here.
Oh, I
it's not as
see.
complex where we come from. We usually have just one line and that's it. Here you have like for the express train, for the registry there, for the cashier there, for waiting to be
I
attended
see.
by the waiter. It's very complex for us.
Oh, you meant that there are so many lines for each like purposes.
We do not have that.
Right.
Usually everything is simplified and there's only one line. So
Okay.
it's almost inconceivable for us to understand the system, which is of course so complex because you have a very complex society with a lot of people, and you have to make it work. So you envision a complex system to solve all these specific situations. We're not so complex, so we usually have just one option, and there's no way to make a mistake there. But we make a lot of mistakes here when we visit Japan.
Okay.
But it's not intentional. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. We're curious about like many Japanese people don't mind waiting for like making lines to get something, especially like a restaurant to get into a restaurant, because you have another option, but you just want to make a line to go inside of the restaurant,
Exactly.
right? My question is, do you like making lines that for that kind of purpose?
We usually do make lines everywhere. I think the problem is here in Japan, maybe most foreigners do not have a preference. So if there is a line, it's not that we want to go there, so we will simply go somewhere else. There is no preference. If, for example, we knew that's the place we want to go, and that's the food we want to eat, and that's the restaurant, we would do the line.
Did you encounter that kind of situation? Like
Maybe one during lunch. We went to a place, we found it online, it had good reviews, we wanted to eat ramen. we thought it was cool, and we waited for that specific restaurant because we wanted that. And I think it's the first time we've done it in all 3 weeks, because usually there are so many options and we don't have a preference. So we'll just, instead of doing one line, we'll keep looking and spend the same time and then go to another restaurant.
Did it worth waiting?
Yes, for this restaurant, it was worth it.
Oh, that's
and that, I
great.
think, is the main problem. There is no simple way for foreigners to understand if a restaurant is what they want. That specific restaurant. Because we don't know if that's a good restaurant or that's the kind of food that we want. It is all a mystery for us. So if we had a clear way to know that is the restaurant we want, we would probably wait in line for the restaurant.
Well, what kind of Japanese food that restaurant?
Ramen, traditional
Ramen. I see. So it was really good one. It worth waiting.
We've always had usually a good experience with the restaurant. The problem is we don't know if that's.
Yeah.
When we go and order food, we really do not know what we're gonna get, and sometimes it's a surprise, and it's not what we had in mind. So it's a bit of a conflict between our imagination and reality.
Yeah.
But it's usually. People are very kind. The restaurants are so nice. The food is so well prepared with so much care. But the taste and the experience that we had in our minds does not is not the same as what we're actually having in real life. And that is the contrast that sometimes maybe is confusing for us.
Yeah.
And we say, oh no, this is not what I had in mind. And the tastes are very different. The textures are very different. And the intensity of flavor is probably the main difference. In Western culture, I think in most places, except in Japan, you can find like strong flavors with a lot of sauce. Japan is a very purist. Tastes are very pure, subtle. And that can be a bit confusing. It has taken us quite a while to really enjoy and start appreciating the food here.
I see.
But still, the rest, the experience, the quality, the spaces, the staff, all very polite.
Okay. Can you introduce like some of the Colombian food? What kind of
for
food?
example,
Yeah.
Empanadas.
Banana?
Empanadas is a very traditional dish that you eat usually on the street. There's small corn, flat dishes that are fried with something inside, usually potato and meat.
It's like a tacos kind in Mexico.
It's somewhat like a taco, but you would close it and fry it. So something inside. But it's usually potatoes. Very typical of South America. Very tasty, and you put something, usually a very spicy sauce on top. Something from my region, Antioquia, Medellin, is arepas. Arepas is a kind of a flat bread made of corn. It's very, very subtle taste. And I felt very identified with Japan because usually when foreigners visit, they say, this doesn't taste like anything. But it takes many years to develop the taste of the flavor. Like to understand it and understand the subtleties of the flavor.
I see.
Arepas. And those are also very popular in all South America.
Oh, okay. I'm going to remember that.
Arepas and empanadas.
Arepas, okay. And one more thing. If I hear Colombia, the coffee is very popular. Yeah.
Outside, like usually our coffee is quite premium and it's sold on international markets. But because it's so premium, usually it is very expensive. So in Colombia, sometimes, most of the times until recently, we drank like lower quality coffee.
Oh, really?
And pure Colombian coffee, which is not like the most common type of coffee that you will find in Europe or somewhere else. You will have blends, and they will like buy Colombian coffee and mix it with coffee from Brazil or from wherever, and make blends. And that's the blend that usually people are accustomed to, that will balance the taste. Colombia is like, if you drink coffee in Colombia, it's going to be 100% pure Colombian coffee, and it's a very strong taste.
Oh, really?
Most people will probably not enjoy it as much as the traditional blend they're accustomed to.
So you don't drink much coffee then?
A little bit,
little
probably a cup a day,
Mm.
but I'm not an expert of coffee.
Ah,
I do
I see.
enjoy the
right,
ritual. I find it interesting, but I don't don't spend too much time, effort, or money specifically on the coffee.
Right.
But I want to go to a place that has good coffee, and I can distinguish like a bad coffee from a good coffee, but that's as far as I go.
I'm kind of coffee person.
Okay.
And when I see like a Colombian coffee, I like a Colombian the coffee like whenever.
Pure Colombian coffee is probably slightly different from what you will try in mixes and blends from Lavazza or Nespresso. They
Right.
do the blends, so 100% Colombian. And recently we have probably 10 years ago or 12, we started doing like the roasting in Colombia, trying to add value to the coffee in Colombia.
Yeah, I see. All right. Thank you so much for your time.
Pleasure. No, thank you.
It was so fun talking to